Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. So this is a 2012 DreamWorks original film. This is the 10th year, actually, since the film first came out. It's so weird to think 10 years ago, this is when the third Madagascar film came out. But here we are. So we start out in we're not in Madagascar anymore. We're in Africa, where we left off in the second film. The penguins and the chimps are on a whirlwind honeymoon adventure to Monte Carlo, right? To celebrate the wedding of, was it Skipper and the bobblehead? So Alex keeps having these nightmares that the penguins aren't going to return. So Alex decides that they should just go to Monte Carlo, convince the penguins to fly them from Monte Carlo to New York, so that way they can get back home to New York City, to the Central Park Zoo. So somehow they swim the Mediterranean with snorkels and goggles. So it's our four intrepid heroes: Alex the lion, Marty the zebra, Melman the giraffe, and Gloria the hippo. So all four of them, plus King Julian, Maurice, and what's the little lemur's name? I can't remember his name. They all swim to Monte Carlo, meet up with the penguins and the chimps, who are on a whirlwind gambling adventure. They then they get a deed to the circus to then, it's something, the penguins have an ulterior motive of gaining the circus. But in the process of all this, there's an American scout hitting the circus run, hitting the European circuit, there we go. And they can land the contract to be a touring circus in the States. Obviously, New York would be the home base. So Alex's idea now is to run the circus with just animals, no more people, because the penguins and the chimps bought the circus from the ringleader, the ringmaster, and the clowns, to then gain the attention of the scout to then get to New York. That's the objective, to get to New York. So it's a matter of, just because your original plan doesn't go as you expected, what do you do next? Is it just a continuous circle, or do you have to look at it from a different perspective and look at it as a spiral? And why I'm saying spiral is because it's just them going up. That there's trapezi americano, that there's many illuminated spirals throughout the circus. There's the Russian tiger, there's the cheetah, there's the lion seal, or sea. It's really a seal, but he calls himself a sea lion at one point. Maybe he's a sea lion, but he's portrayed as a seal. There's the elephants, there's horses. So it begs the question that we go back to the first one: should animals be in a zoo? Should animals just be in the wild? Should animals be in preserves, excuse me. And so, like, same concept with circus animals. Should animals be in a circus? What should their role be in a circus? Things, right? Things. A lot of animals have not been in circuses, especially American circuses, for the last 5-7 years because of massive, animal rights activism and videos and things alike, right? So no more animals in circuses, and that's fine. But it's Alex and company figuring out their place within the circus to get to New York. So they perform, and they're enjoying performing. And Alex's ulterior motive does come to light, that they're not actually circus animals, revealed to these actual circus animals, that they're not, in a sense, just being used to get back to New York, but they're enjoying themselves along the way while evading being captured by this, insane French captain she's just on a rampage to kill Alex, to put his head on her wall. They eventually land the contract. They eventually get to Central Park, performing in the circus. They eventually get back to the zoo. They then realize that they had more adventures and more fun and more love and understanding in the circus than they did with just being in their pens in the Central Park Zoo. There is no adventure. It's just day to day, same thing one day after another. So then they fight the French lady, and she gets put in their pen, and they then spiral trapezi americano back up into their Afro circus blimp, and the animals go on their circus whirlwind adventure. while the penguins are still doing their thing, while the chimps are still doing their thing. It's very interesting of a film. I think the second is definitely my favorite out of the three. Um, it's very colorful. It's very bright. Katy Perry's Fireworks being a focal point song within the circus acts was very cool too. It's very reminiscent of the time, 2012, when the film came out. Can't believe it's been 10 years. It's just so weird to say that out loud. I just like that it's showing everyone who watches it, again, just because you feel like your life's going in a circle, maybe you got to think of it as a spiral, that it's not just one thing after another, that it's a matter of things happening, going to make sure trapiche americano does actually come into effect within an Afro circus. So circus, Afro, polka dot. It's a good song that Marty sings. It's a really great trilogy. I really enjoy it. I liked that they didn't stay in Central Park at the end. I liked that they went back to the circus. Things change. The dream changes. How do you adapt? What do you do for that spiral? Trapiche americano. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.